Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast which we smash apart the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1 minute chunks so we can analyze them in scrupulous detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Road to Infinity podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco, and...
Oh my God. Let's go, he is broken in half!
Once again, JR has returned for a little cameo. Kyle, what's your favorite wrestling move of all time?
I think it's called... Well, okay, I believe it's called the Shooting Star Press. But when I first saw it, it was the 7-year itch. in the corner, the turn where the turnbuckle is. There, the opponent has been knocked down. Right. The wrestler climbs up on the turnbuckle with his back to the ring, and does a full flip in the air.
Yes,
lands belly to belly with the other. Shooting Star Press. It is really hard to pull off, and when it is, the audience usually goes berserk.
So, okay, watch. This is our wrestling knowledge for those of you who didn't know.
Yes,
Brock Lesnar almost killed himself one time doing a Shooting Star Press in a match.
Brock Lesnar did that man's like 400 pounds.
It was when he was younger in the WWF, WWE. Yeah. No, and you can go YouTube it. He literally almost landed on his head.
Wow. Yeah,
and
it's a hard
shockingly
move.
Didn't die on impact.
Yeah.
And it's crazy
of what the wrestler was because he was in Raven's Flock, and
oh wow, Perry Saturn wasn't Perry
Saturn.
Saturn.
It wasn't Perry Saturn. I like Perry Saturn, but it wasn't Perry Saturn because he always had the submission move. But no, it was he'd always wearing like a tank top, and he'd always be scratching himself. Really thin, dark-haired dude.
Oh yeah,
I think he would do the 7-year itch. That's what that was, the itch thing. He would always be scratching. I can't remember what his name was, but he was a really really talented wrestler and never really got the
Anybody knows that? We'll have to get that.
Yeah, please. You can find us on Discord. You can find us on all the social media stuff. You can
go to the lounge
and tell us.
Talk about it wherever you want. Okay, so my favorite wrestling move, even though I love all like the good finishers that are that take skill and also are believable.
Not the people's elbow.
No, that's a little. Even the rock bottom is ridiculous. I mean, like whatever.
Yes, what the Rock is.
Anyway, no, it actually goes all the way to Paul Orndorff because Paul Orndorff was one of the great purveyors of the pile driver, and obviously the pile driver now they don't do anymore because it's ridiculously dangerous.
Yeah.
But he used to deliver them. I mean, he used to do them to Hulk Hogan and it was insane. And I always remember it's one of my childhood memories when I first got into wrestling that I was like, hey, I'm a kid, but I know you shouldn't do that to someone. Like
his neck should not be doing that.
No, nobody should be dropped on their head. Like that's not good. But anyway, Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful.
Okay, wrestling moves. Where am I going with this?
Yeah. Well, we're going to have a real slobber knocker here in minute 94 of The Incredible Hulk from 2008, directed by Mr. Louis Leterrier, because it's almost like they've hit the Hulk's music, and now he's running down the ramp to start the match. I see your sports analogy, and I raise you wrestling analogy.
We're totally now. Michael Buffer, get Michael Buffer in there. Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Copyright.
Yes.
And like we talked a little bit about this in minute 93, and the same thing's happened in minute 94. They're cutting back and forth between them, and I cannot tell them apart. Like,
it's very tough.
I mean, I say at least the lighting in wrestling is really good, so you can tell what kind of trunks they're wearing.
Can I give you a hint?
Yeah.
Look for the pinhead.
Look for the pin. But when they're running, you're seeing just like their massive muscled shoulders, and they're green, and they're both barefoot, and they're like one's wearing pants and one isn't. That's it.
Really interesting. So no, I mean, maybe this is part of the character design, the head, the spikes.
Yeah.
But wow, just amazing that they didn't go like tan, like beige, right? Like something else.
Right. Just any other color than like green and off green. I mean, like it's sort of like one is forest green and one is olive green. Like, I don't know. This is where this is where I need to break out my crayon box and get in there, because I mean, pea green, I don't know what, but he really is a shade of green. Like they put out the figure of him and he was tan.
Right.
But I was like, he ain't tan. Like,
no, that was a toy company getting it better than
and of course having to do their work.
Some of the art direction, right?
Yeah.
Now, interesting. We've talked about this. We hinted at this at the previous minute.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a street in quote unquote Harlem, right?
Harlem.
We have the Apollo Theater.
Sure.
We're going back and forth. They're running.
Yep.
And as they're coming together and running, there's something that you can't not notice on the street. About 2 doors down from the Apollo Theater is a place with a hugely, I mean, it looks like it could belong in Times Square, right? New York City.
It is well illuminated.
Oh, it's well illuminated. I mean, like animated lighting and everything, right? It's a thing called Zanzibar.
Yeah.
And I said to myself when I watched this, as you I'm sure did too, Zanzibar. That's really specific. It looks like it has a sign that says, and again, not only as we've known, my ears don't always hear everything, my eyes don't always see everything correctly, because I thought it said the girls never shop. And I thought,
I see that
weird.
Thinking, well, that must be like a cool record store
or a
like,
beauty salon or something, right?
Yeah.
And I went and Googled it, and it's not.
Ladies.
It's an infamous strip joint in Toronto. What the heck? And it's not the girls never shop. It's the girls never stop.
Yeah.
What is the deal with this?
It's the deja vu of Toronto, apparently.
But okay, isn't that amazing? Like, I tried to find like the story of why did they leave this in this? Was it just because, we don't want to take it? Because it's a very intricate marquee. Like, I get all that. But what's also funny is when you look at this and you look at pictures of the street, the actual street, the record shop that's right next to it, that's a real record shop. That's legit from Toronto.
Right.
What the heck?
I probably said, hey, we want to redress your place and put up a new signage. And they went, no.
I mean, how random is that?
Hey, it's good advertising because here we are, almost 10 years later, and we're talking about Club Zanzibar. And if you're in Toronto,
and maybe I should also say maybe you should not Google Zanzibar.
Okay, but I tell you, so for those of you who are on the internet and bored,
right now, which is everyone.
Read the Yelp reviews for Club Zanzibar because that is a good time. It is so. There's some great stories for those writers out there who are like, I want to set a story at a strip club. Oh, well, you've got plenty of story fodder just by reading the reviews. I'm telling you, it is a good time for those of you who are of that inclination. But in the meantime, it turns out that Hulk and Abomination have the same power, which is they can jump in slow-mo.
Oh, yeah.
Slow motion.
No, this is a full-on head-to-head Matrix, everything.
So that's exactly, yeah. It's Neo and Agent Smith leaping to meet the other, and apparently Abomination jumped first because he hits the Hulk with a spear.
Oh my god, totally!
Oh my god, he's broken in half. So the spear is actually a pretty famous wrestling move that Brock Lesnar uses, and Goldberg is always the one that I know. So it's
Goldberg uses, Roman Reigns uses.
Yep.
Edge, but Edge, I would say Edge is the great purveyor of the spear.
Of the spear?
Yeah.
The spear is basically like it. I was first person I ever saw do was Goldberg. Goldberg was a former football player, and so it like starts out in sort of the low football position, and then basically you drive your shoulder into the lower, like the stomach area of the person. You hit them really hard, and so it almost buckles them in half, and then it knocks them to the ground.
You're trying to knock the air out of them, at the same time hurt them, and get them on the ground. Yeah.
So that's essentially what Abomination does here is he hits him with a spear, and so hard that not only does he go, but when they impact, it's so powerful that it blows out the neon on the Apollo sign.
Yeah,
like
that's why it's there.
Wave, right. This is a power move right here because not only does he hit him with the spear, but then Abomination rolls him on the ground, and then when he gets there, he pops him up and then flings the Hulk like through a flaming bus and then skips him like a stone down the street. Okay, legit. That was pretty awesome. That was great on every level. Fight choreography, effects, motion capture, like it's so clear what he does that bravo.
You know what? And okay, no spoilers moving ahead because the CG takes a dip in the next minute.
Yeah.
But up for this entire minute, it is great. Yeah. I mean, they did a really wonderful job of lighting this where, okay, you've got shadows because it's a nighttime scene, so you're hiding some of our errors and stuff, but it's wonderful. Like I found nothing in this to be not believable if you were going to believe this was happening.
Yeah, 2 giant gamma radiated guys fighting Harlem.
Exactly.
Sure. Once you can buy that, you can buy the rest of it too.
Right.
And I even did almost not frame by frame, but like play pause, because that's how sophisticated we are here at Marvel Movie Minute. And like it's very clear every piece of that move that he does and throws in there. It's very calculated, and it's great. And so much so that we've never seen the Hulk get his ass handed to him like this before.
Oh no, everything from the moment he gets speared to the roll and the slide and the picking himself up.
Right, he's like, well, I've been shot and stabbed, and I had helicopters fall on me, but like, whoa, because when he stands up, he's his health bar is dropped to about half,
and you can actually see it in his face.
Yeah,
when you slow it down, he's kind of like he's doing the whole like shaking his head, like what just happened?
Rep would run up and be like, "Are you all right to continue?"
Now we have to talk about 2 things. One thing I'm going to be very angry about. The second thing I was almost angry about, and then I'm going to take back.
Okay.
The first thing is through this whole time that the Hulk is careening through the street, you know what we see a ton of? More people.
Yeah, they're still there.
Like still in their cars.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like that boggles my mind. And there's not enough cars for the number of people you're seeing run around.
Well, okay, so here, as we're apologizing and getting our no prizes, a show with the Apollo just got out. There was a I'm trying to think who was hot in 2008. I was here. This is gonna everybody who's my age is gonna be like, yeah, sure, and everybody who's young gonna be like, shut up, old man. I was about to say maybe a Bell Biv DeVoe show just got out.
My god. Good for you. You know what? No, good for you.
Reunion. Bell Biv DeVoe reunion. Maybe it was that new edition reunion. Maybe
that's better. That's better than a show at the Zanzibar getting out.
That's true. That's true. There'd be a lot of dudes like covering their faces as they run away.
That's not what I. Okay, you may have fixed that, so now I can't. I don't know if I can say. Okay, so Hulk he's flattened.
Yeah,
he's getting up.
Yep.
We then see a shot of him from his side. And he's in front of a place called an African hair braiding company.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first saw this, I was like, now somebody had to make that again, Toronto. And I was thinking to myself, wow. And okay, I'm not, I'm not trying to present myself here as an expert on all cultures, but I'm like, what, did somebody just say Harlem? There's got to be an African hair braiding company there, right? Like that's kind of ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Well, then, and of course I wanted to do my due diligence. There are many African hair braiding companies in Toronto.
Really?
I mean, let me give a shout out to a few of them. iRose African Braiding, the Diva African Hair Braiding Salon, the MBM Hair Braids and Beauty Salon.
Nice.
Thanks, Yelp. But but okay.
You're in Toronto.
I gotta say,
one of those fine establishments.
Totally legit. And I only say this because, okay, I know most of our metropolitan area here. I don't think I've ever seen that. And of course they're they're just Phoenix is a big place. We understand that. No, and for a moment there, I kind of went like, oh, are you guys like just trying to assume, or, you did your research weird? No, that's just as much Toronto as it is Harlem, as it is to Phoenix, as it is to any metropolitan area. Kudos. That's awesome.
We've all learned something today. And you're about to learn something too, because Abomination it stands on the records. But okay, now I gotta say, we've taken some shots at the Abomination's design, and we will do more. But I really love this shot.
Yes,
of Abomination standing in the burning wreckage of a bus, and he puts his weird multi-toed clawed foot on the thing, and the metal buckles.
It's awesome.
It's such a power move. It's a great shot. They did a hell of a job on that.
Do you know what makes it better?
What?
If you pan your eye to the lower left corner of the screen, there's one of those little tykes, like toddler cars, the little red ones with the yellow canopy.
What?
And it's just sitting there, and I think that's amazing.
It's like 8:00 at night. Who had their kid out in a little tykes?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, wait a minute. No, why is that there?
Come on, Harlem.
I love that it's there. No, this is a beautiful shot. We've talked about the composition of certain shots in this movie. This one, the flames, the effects, like you said, that little attention to detail, like his foot comes down and it curls. Not only do you see it press down, it's like it curls down. Oh, it's incredibly well done.
Yeah. He puts his Ninja Turtle foot up there, and
Yes.
then goes. That's really cool. And so then the Hulk looks over and sees a cop car, and he gets an idea, and it's not a Public Enemy song. Oh no, it's something else. So where does he get this idea? I'm gonna tell you where he got this idea. He got this idea from his video game, because there's a video game from 2005 called Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, and every video gamer nerd from that time, all of a sudden the hackles on the back of their neck went up, because that was such an amazing game. It is the best Hulk game that has ever been put out on any console, even up to now. And the nice thing about it was a pure video game. It was not trying to tie into a movie or to a comic book or anything else. It was allowed to do exactly what they wanted to do. It was okay. So for those of you who are loving the Spider-Man game that just came out from Insomniac, this was the Spider-Man game of its time. Because it took the character and did what everybody wanted to do, which is let you loose. So imagine you're playing your Grand Theft Auto kind of game, but you're playing it as the Hulk. You can climb up the buildings, you can pick up things, you can throw them, you can do this. And this is in 2005. This is PlayStation 2 times. And so one of the things you could do is you could run over to a car, grab it, rip it in half, bang it on the ground, and make two giant metal fists, and you could do more damage with that. This move he's about to do comes right out of this game. So this comes from Radical Entertainment. Let's see, their Bruce Banner was Neil McDonough. So Neil McDonough was the voice of Bruce Banner from the 1996 animated series, but he would later go on to be Dum Dum Dugan in Captain America: The First Avenger. And also, this was the first time that Fred Tatasciore was Hulk. And as we know, he is the voice of Hulk in this movie too. He helps do some of the voices there. So that was the first time he ever got to do it. Sadly, Radical Entertainment is not around anymore. They did a great game called Prototype, which took a lot of the stuff they learned from Hulk. Then it did pretty well. They did Prototype 2. It did not do very well, and that was it for them. But those developers, I hope they all found great jobs, because that game was amazing and everything they did was great. So Hulk Ultimate Destruction, I wish I could say go out and rent it now, but you can't, because it came out PS2 and it never was remade or revised or anything like that. But if you look at some of the other games that were out at 2005 and look at the YouTube clips, that game was legitimately awesome. And if you're playing the Marvel movie and drinking game, yes, that's right, I said legit again.
Wait, we've never talked about this. You know what else? I just did it.
Wrestling references. That's another thing you take.
Well, no. Or if you take a drink every time Rob does you're smashed. I mean, you're done. Trust me. I edit these. I know. I hear you. I'm working on it.
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to stop my ums. I'm sorry. You've got
blew my mind.
Hopefully, it's just background noise to you by this point.
Okay, blow my mind about that's where the reference is.
Yep, that's where it came from. And
but now
they full on acknowledge it too.
I also demand that Rockstar put a Hulk in Grand Theft Auto.
Right?
Because wow.
I'm saying that at time of recording, there's a new Avengers game coming out where you can play as the Hulk, but I can tell you it's not going to be as cool as that. The sheer thrill of being the Hulk in a Grand Theft Auto kind of world and running up the side of a building and then ripping the antenna off that building and then throwing it at a helicopter that's attacking you, man, in 2005, nothing was better.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and also they had tons of like unlockables. I could go on about this game, but
he's got police car gloves.
Yes, so he's got police car metal fists, and so the Abomination sees like, hey, Hulk's up to something. So I'm about to use my power move, which is running at things. So
Hulk does a big symbols. He does a big symbols with the police car gloves.
So he's like, so I got police in one hand and car in the other. No, wait, I'll do that again. Let's see. I've got this one. This one's serve and this one's protect. Oh, that's better. I like that better.
No, how about this one's engine? This one's trunk.
I'm going to introduce you to my two friends. So
and then what happens?
We hear that. Okay, so shout out to sound design because they make a great metallic ting as Hulk just blams it and hits Abomination with the right cross. Blam! So much so that it ends the minute.
Yeah, that's it.
Boom! That's right. He punched the fourth wall, and that's where it stops. So that's where minute 94 comes to an end, and so the battle is on, and so Hulk's now got an advantage, and he's actually taken the fight to the Abomination for the first time. So he's got him on the ropes. Let's see if he can keep up his momentum in minute 95. In the meantime, if you're looking for places to put your money, I don't know. I was what's the clumsiest way I could transition to asking
not
people for
Zanzibar,
money? Yeah,
not the Apollo, not in any of those things. There is a place. It's called Patreon. That was such
no,
horrible. We're keeping it, but just go to Patreon, give us your money, help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Are we actually doing that, or you want to do?
Like no, that's total. Oh, that's it. Done.
Okay.
Oh wait, what's the address?
Oh, that's right. You can just go to thenextreel.com/Patreon. We love our Patreons, and we apologize that you have, even though if you're supporting us and you're getting this early, you still have to hear these commercials. We're sorry.
But we appreciate it, and thank you.
Because we appreciate you guys, and
yay.
So thank you all for listening. We'll be back here for minute 95. Ooh, we're getting really close now. So we hope you have a smashing good time. Until next time, true believers.
Bye.